Thank you for visiting my YouTube channel. I know you want to watch the video. Before I get into the content, I'm going to talk about my nonprofit, the Accelerated Training Program, a cybersecurity and digital literacy nonprofit based in Charlotte, North Carolina. We are looking to provide accessible cybersecurity education and digital literacy skills to underrepresented groups from the K through 12 space right now, but we have on our roadmap collegiate, elderly populations, etc. Pretty much anyone from an underrepresented group. We want them to get cybersecurity education and digital literacy skills to bring them into the ever increasing digital world that we live in now. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, we do have a donate button if you would like to donate monetarily. We're always accepting donations. If you would like to volunteer your time, we have a volunteer tab where we're looking for workshop volunteers. Currently, we have 1 month workshops, but we're looking to expand that in 2024. Board members, advisory board members, and a grant writer. So if you're a grant writer, if you have experience in grant writing and also winning grants, we would definitely love to have you on our team. To be considered, please complete the volunteer form here, which is a link that will navigate you to a Google form. And again, we're a cybersecurity, digital literacy nonprofit, and we would love to work with you if that is your passion as well. Thank you. Have a good day. And now the video is going to start. Hello, and welcome to another video. Today's video is day 17 traffic analysis. I taught a C2 TAT. So let me start the machine. And it is starting the attack box, so let's read. Congratulations, you made it to day 17. The story, however, is just getting started. There are more things to discover, examine, and analyze. Until now, you have worked with multiple events, including prompt injection, log analysis, brute force, data recovery, exploitation, data exfiltration, suspicious drives, malware, injection, account takeover, phishing, and machine learning concepts. Yes, there are tons of anomalies, indicators of attack, IOA, and indicators of compromise, IOC. Santa Security Operations Center, the SSOC, needs to see the big picture to identify, scope, prioritize, and evaluate these anomalies in order to manage the ongoing situation effectively. So, how can we zoom out a bit and create a timeline to set the investigation's initial boundaries and scope? McSkitty decides to focus on network statistics. When there are many network artifacts, it's a good choice to consider network in and out as well as load statistics to create a hypothesis. Now, it's time to help the SSOC team by quickly checking network traffic statistics to gain insight into the ongoing madness. Let's go. Okay, so we started the machine, and we're going to use the VM and the split screen. Split screen. SSOC gives you a pre-configured VM. For your convenience, the VM contains a fresh version of Silk. It also has the required artifacts to work on. Let's start the VM first, then discover the assigned analysis environment. To run the attached VM, okay, we press start. Okay. So the learning objectives: gain knowledge of the network traffic data format, understand the difference between full packet captures and network flows, learn how to process network data, network flow data, discover the Silk tool suite, and gain hands-on experience in network flow analysis with Silk. So network traffic data. The network data is everywhere. It is all around us, even now in this very task. Network communication and traffic are the natural behaviors of today's interconnected computing world. These behaviors represent a constant data flow of data activities, including personal interactions and business transactions. The data flow offers invaluable network management, troubleshooting, incident response, and threat hunting insights. The table below highlights the importance and key benefits of each of these aspects. So we have network management. And this monitors network performance, identifying bandwidth bottlenecks, and ensuring resource allocation and quality of service. Troubleshooting, identifying network issues, latency and connectivity issues, validating configuration implementations and changes, and setting performance baseline. Incident response, incident scope, root cause analysis, and assessment of the compliance aspect of incidents in day to day operations, and threat hunting, proactive analysis for signs of suspicious and malicious patterns, potential threats, anomalies, and IOCs. Also, behavioral analysis is used to detect intrusions and insider threats. Network traffic comes in various data types and formats. Packet capture, PCAP format, also known as full packet captures, is the first thing that comes to mind. It provides a granular, raw, and comprehensive view of the network traffic. This format provides all possible data represented in packets in a ready to investigate format. This approach is also known as deep packet inspection. Therefore, it is an invaluable artifact for network level operations. However, this intensive resource needs storage, processing, and analysis capacities to provide comprehensive insight into network traffic. In other words, while PCAPs are very useful for detailed analysis, they are not practical for fast analysis situations as they enclose the actual payload. This situation becomes a pain point when large amount of data needs to be analyzed. The data richness and level of detail provided by the PCAP format come from the payload it carries. At this point, it will be possible to speed up the process considerably by running the analysis process on a data format that doesn't enclose the payload data. As a result, it will be possible to process more data in a shorter time with fewer resources, leaving more time for analysis and decision making. Network flow data is a lightweight alternative to PCAPs. It's commonly used in NetFlow format, a telemetry protocol developed by Cisco that focuses on the metadata of the traffic. In other words, it provides only the summary of the traffic. The details appear similarly to how call details appear on your phone bill. Once again, there are no packet content details with this format. This is why storing, processing, and analyzing this data format is easier than it is with PCAPs. It looks like this data format will help the team accomplish the task Mosquiti assigned to them. So, a closer look at PCAPs and flows. Let's take a closer look at these two formats to see how they differ and understand what to expect from each one. If we are unfamiliar with network terminology and the basics of this task, we can also look at the network fundamentals module. So, a model. In PCAP world, that's a packet capture. In network flow world, it's a protocol flow records. Depth of information. Detailed granular data contains the packet details and payloads. Summary data doesn't contain the packet details and payload. Main purpose, deep packet analysis. Main purpose, summary of the traffic flow. Pros provides high visibility of packet details. Pros provides a high level summary of the big picture. Encryption is not obsolete. Don't the flows don't use the packet payload. Cons: hard to process and require time and resources to store and analyze. Encryption is obsolete. Summary only, no payload. Available fields, layer heads, and payload data, packet metadata. The table above highlights the conceptual differences between PCAP and network flow at a high level. Now, let's get into a more technical comparison of these two formats and understand why McSkitty chose this approach as a quick solution for understanding overall network traffic activities. Forensic McBlue explains the difference in the table below. It's always good to gain quick insights on network activities. Thank you, Elf Forensics McBlue. That's my phone. Okay. So key data files of a PCAP format, link layer information, timestamp, packet length, MAC address, source and destination, IP and port information, source, destination of the IP, source and destination of the port, TCP or UDP, transfer control protocol, universal datagram protocol, application layered protocol details, packet data, and payload. So that's PCAPs. So network flow, IP and port information, source and destination for both, IP protocol, volume detail in bytes and packet metrics, TCP flags, time details, start, time, duration, end time, sensor information, application layer protocol information. So you will know, you will see in network flow data, it's only doing TCP, as while in PCAP format it's doing TCP and UDP. Okay, so Elf Forensic McBlue. Okay, so Elf Forensic McBlue explains that the significant difference between PCAP and network flows is the packet detail visibility and processing speed. Remember, McSkitty wants the statistics as soon as possible. You'll help the SSOC team work on network flows. How to collect and process network data. Network data collection and processing typically involves using network monitoring and analysis tools such as Wireshark, T-Shark, and TCP dump to collect information about the traffic on a network and then analyze that data to gain insight, troubleshoot, or conduct blue and purple team operations. Also, product and system based solutions will help collect network data and flow format. The specific tools and methods you use will depend on the size and complexity of your network and your objectives. If you would like to learn more about the network data capturing and analysis process, the Wireshark module can be beneficial. The SSOC team tells us they have some PCAPs and network flow records, but the available data needs to be more organized and ready for analysis. Luckily, one of the team members remembered a suggestion from McSkitty. So, hence, from McSkitty. You could collect network flows from endpoints and network devices in the same way as you can collect full packet captures. It's also possible to convert PCAPs to network flows if you need a quick look at network statistics on a pre recorded file. Many open source tools can help you read network flows or convert PCAPs to network flow data, and Silk is one of the most popular choices. Good news, Elf Forensic McBlue has converted all the network traffic data to binary flow format, but you still need to discover how to analyze it. Okay, follow up of recommendations and exploration of tools. Let's continue with McSkitty's suggestion. Explore and use Silk to help SSOC in this task. Silk, or the System for Internet Level Knowledge Tool Suite, was developed by the CERT Situational Awareness Group at Carnegie Mellon University Software Engineering Institute. It contains various tools and binaries that allow users to collect, parse, filter, and analyze network traffic data. In other words, Silk helps analysts gain insight into multiple aspects of network behavior. Silk can process data flows, PCAP files, and binary flow data. In this task, you will experiment using Silk tools or binary formats to help the SSOC team achieve their goals. Elf Log McBlue gives us the network flow data in binary flow format. So we now have enough data sources to get to work. Okay. Getting started with the Silk Suite. The Silk Suite has two parts, the packing system and the analysis suite. The packing system supports the collection of multiple network flow types, IPFix, NetFlow version 9, and NetFlow version 5, and stores them in binary files. The analysis suite contains the tools needed to carry out various operations. List, sort, count, and statistics on network flow records. The analysis tools also support Linux CLI pipes, allowing you to create sophisticated queries. The VM contains a binary flow file, suspiciousflows.silk, and the Ubuntu desktop home Ubuntu desktop directory. So we can see it here. You can verify this by clicking the terminal on the desktop and executing the following command. Change listing directory items. That's a new one. LL. Okay. Usually I would just do LS, but okay. The next step is discovering the details of the pre-installed Silk instance in the VM. Use the commands provided to verify the Silk's suite installation using the following command to verify and view the installation details. So Silk config, I can spell. Okay. Okay, so this is it. Uh, Okay, so no. Okay, because that is actually the IP set record compatibility. Oh, 319. It was right there. Okay, it was right here. Okay, I'm trying to answer the questions as I'm reading so I don't forget. So that's why I stopped. Okay, Silk manually works on a data repository, but it can also process data sources not in the base data repository. By default, the data repository resides under the var Silk data directory, which can be changed by updating the Silk's main configuration file. Note that this task's primary focus is using the Silk suite for analysis. Therefore, we will only use the network flows given by the SSOC team. Quick win that will help you answer the questions. You now know which Silk version you are using. Yep, it's right there. Okay, flow file properties was Silk Suite RW file info. One of the top 5 actions in packet and flow analysis is overviewing, the file info. Silk Suite has a tool RW file info that makes this possible. Now let's start working with the artifacts provided. We'll need to view the details of binary flow using the following command. Okay, so if we say RW file info, suspicious. Okay, this tool helps you discover the file's high level details. Now you should see the Silk version header length, the total number of flow records, and file size. Yep, the version 3.19.1. So it says quick win that will help you answer the questions. You now know how to view the sample size in terms of count records. And the count records is here. So 11774. Yep. Okay. Good. So they're helping us as we are going along. Okay. Reading flow files, RW cut. RW cut reads binary flow records and prints those selected by the user in text format. It works like a reading and filtering tool. For instance, you can open and print all the records without any filter or parameter, as shown in the command and terminal below. So if we say RW cut, so let's just say RW cut suspicious files. Okay, so it's giving us that. Note that this command will print all records in your console and stop at the last record line. Investigating all these records at once can be overwhelming, especially when working with large flows. Therefore, you need to manage the RW cut tool's output size using the following command. Okay, so we say num rex equal 5, so that means we're showing 5 records. Yep. This command limits the output to show only the first 5 records and helps the analysis process. We can also say tail and then that will show the bottom 5, the last 5. Up to this point, we read flows with RW cut. Now let's discover the filtering options offered by this tool. Recheck the output. It's designed by column categories, meaning there's a chance to filter some. RW cut has great filtering parameters that will help you do this. At this point, the fields parameter will help you extract particular columns from the output and make it easier to read. So if we say fields equal protocol SIP S port DIP D port. Okay, so we see it's being filtered. This viewing is easier to follow. Note, let me make this bigger. Okay, so this view is easier to follow Note that you can filter other columns using their tags in the filtering parameters. The alternative filtering field options are listed below: source IP, destination IP, source port, destination port, duration, start time, end time. So if I say, I'm going to change this to 6, and I want to add the end of destination port, S time, and E time. Wait, hold on. I'm going to add all the fields. Port duration, S time, E time. Okay, so the number of records equals 6. Okay. 1, 2. Okay. So, because this is one of the questions. Okay, so let me keep going. One more detail to pay attention to before proceeding: look at the RW cut terminal above and check the protocol pro column. So this port 80 is HTTP. You should have noticed the numeric values under the protocol section. This column shows the used protocol in decimal format. You'll need to pay attention to this section as Silk highlights protocols in binary form. Example 6 or 17, not in keywords TCP or UDP. Below, Elf Forensic McBlue explains the importance of this detail and how it will help your cyber career. Hence from Elf Forensic McBlue. In the forensic aspect of network traffic, every detail is represented by numeric values. To master network traffic and packet analysis, you must have a solid knowledge of protocol numbers, including decimal and hexadecimal representations. Note that IANA assigns Internet Protocol numbers. Examples: ICMP is 1, IPv4 is 4, TCP is 6, and UDP is 17. So this means this is TCP. Okay. Quick win that will help you answer the questions. You now know the date of the 6th record in the given sample. So let me. So let's just say. Okay. So we have the S time. So let me change this to 6. So it looks like it is. I'll get rid of the protocol because I don't think we need that. Okay, so 12/5 2023, because it says we have the 6th record. Okay, so it is this here. Okay, what is the destination port of the 6 UDP record? Okay, SD. Okay, so if okay, I'm going to take away the time because we don't need that. Okay. Okay, the 6 UDP record. So Okay, let me keep going. Okay, because I think we will have that. Okay. Where are we? Okay. Filtering the event of interest, RW filter. We've covered how to read and filter particular columns with RW cut, but we need to implement conditional filters to extract specific records from the flow. RW filter will help us implement conditional and logical filters to extract records for the event of interest. RW filter is an essential part of the Silk suite. It comes with multiple filters for each column in the sample you're working on and is vital for conducting impactful flow analysis. However, even though RW filter is essential and powerful, it has a tricky detail. It requires its output to be post processed. This means that it doesn't display the results on the terminal, and as such, is most commonly used with RW cut to view the output. View the example below. So if we say RW filter, okay, so if I can spell RW filter, suspicious. Okay, it says no output specified. Okay, this command reads the flows with RW filter and retrieves an output error as the output option is not specified. So that's what we got. The command is missing filtering and passing output options, which is why it didn't provide any results in return. Let's explore the essential filtering options and then pass the results to RW cut to view the output. Remember ELF Forensic McBlue's hints on protocols and decimal representation. Let's start by filtering all UDP records using the protocol filter and out processing options. So we're going to say RW filter, suspicious flows, and we're going to say proto equals 17, so that's UDP, and we're going to say pass standard out, which means it's going to display to our screen because standard out is displays on the screen, standard in is your keyboard. So this is saying pass it to standard out, which will be your screen. And we're going to pipe that output to raw cut, and then we are going to print the first 5 lines. Okay, so we see protocol 17. So this is what we see. Okay. We can now filter records on the event of interest. The alternative filtering field options are listed below. Protocol, possible values are 0 to 255. Port filters, any port, source port, destination port. Possible values are from 0 to 65,535. IP filters, any IP address, source address, destination address. Volume filters, net number of the packets. Number of the bytes. Now you know how to filter and pass the records to post-processing with Unix pipes. We will use the alternative filter options provided in the upcoming steps. This section is a quick onboarding to make you comfortable with RW filter. We still need a big picture summary to decide where to focus with RW filter. So consider this step as preparation for the operation. We have the essential tools we need to zoom in on the event of interest. Let's discover some statistics and help the SSOC team check out what's happening on the network. So you now know how to filter the records and view the source port number of the 6 UDP record available in the sample output. So let me change this to 6. Okay, I'm gonna say 49950. Okay, 49950. Okay, what is the record value percent of the destination port 53? Okay. Quick statistics, RW stats. Up to this point, we have covered fundamental tools that help provide some statistics on traffic records. It's now time to speed things up for a quicker and more automated overview of the events. Before you start to work with RW stats, you need to remember how to use the fields parameters we covered in the RW filter section to fire alternative filtering commands for the event of interest. If you need help using those parameters, return to the RW filter section and practice using the parameters provided. If you are comfortable with the previous tools, let's move on and discover the power of statistics. Okay, so we are saying RW stats. We're going to pass in the name. We're filtering on the destination port, and the values we want is the records, packets, bytes, source IP distinct, destination IP distinct, and the count of 10. So this is important because the IPs are going to repeat, and what we're saying is we want distinct ones. So if there's duplicates, remove them. Okay, so let's do that. RW stats suspicious, and we're going to say fields D port for destination port, values equal records, packets, bytes, SIP distinct, DIP distinct, 10. Okay. Count limits the number of records printed on the console. Values, records, packets, bytes shows the measurements and flows, packets, and bytes. Values shows the number of unique IP addresses that use the filtered field. This command shows the top 5 destination ports, which will help you understand where the outgoing traffic is going. We now have better statistics with less effort. Look at the terminal output above. It shows us the top destination ports and the number of IP packets involved with each port. This can help us discover anomalies and report our findings together with the SSOC team. Remember, flow analysis doesn't focus on the deep details as you work on Wireshark. The aim is to have statistical data to help McSkitty foresee the boundaries of the threat scope. So now we know how to list the statistics and discover the volume on the port numbers. Okay, so what is the question? What is the record value percent of the destination port 53? Okay, so okay, I want to say it is 3, this one, 35. Or is it this one? Let's see. The output is jumbled. So we're going to try this one. Yep. What is the number of bytes transmitted by the top talker on the network? Okay. The top talker. Okay, did I skip that one? Okay, let me see. Okay. Okay. Assemble the tool set and start hunting anomalies. Congratulations, you have all the necessary tools and have completed all the necessary preparation steps. Now it's time to use what you have learned and save Christmas. Let's start by listing the top talkers on the network. Okay, so I was moving too fast. Okay. Okay. So top talkers, the byte is here. Okay. I think that is it. Okay, let's hope. Yep. Okay. Let me keep going. Okay. We can see the top talkers. So we see 171, 219, 238, 243. They're doing a lot of talking. Check the bytes column. We have revealed the traffic volume distribution and identified the top three talkers on the network. Let's list the top communication pairs to get more meaningful, enriched statistical data. So RW stats, suspicious, fields equal SIP, DIP, values equal records, bytes, packets, count equal 10. Okay, if I can spell, fields. Okay. Look at the bytes and records column. These two columns highlight where the majority of traffic originates. Now, the top talkers stand out since they are creating the majority of the noise on the network. Remember what we found in the last part of the RW stats. The high traffic volume is on port 43. Let's focus on the DNS records and figure out who is involved. So, I'm going to copy this. Copy. Paste. I'm going to change the file name. Okay. Okay, we have filtered our records that use port 53 either as a source or destination port. The output shows that approximately 99% of the DNS traffic occurred between these two IPs 175, 175, 173, 221, 175, 219, 238, 243. That's a lot of DNS traffic, and it's abnormal unless one of these hosts is a DNS server. Even though the traffic volume doesn't represent ordinary traffic, let's view the frequency of the request using the following command. Oh, okay, so let's do 175, 175. We got to do one. Okay. Okay, red flag. Over TNS, the TNDNS requests in less than a second are anomalous. We should highlight this communication pair in our report. Note that we filtered the second talker ending with 221 as it's the source address of the first communication pair. Let's look at the other IP address with the same command. 219, 238, 243. The second command provides zero results, meaning the second IP address ending with 243 didn't send any packet over the DNS port. Note that we will elaborate on these findings in our detection notes. One final check is left before concluding the DNS analysis and proceeding to the remaining connection pairs. We need to check the hosts we marked as suspicious to see if other hosts on the network have interacted with it. So we're going to use this command. One 173.221. Okay. Look at the command results. There's one IP address interaction ending with 99. Let's focus on this new pair by overviewing the communication ports to identify the service. So this is at 100%. Okay. Okay. Suspicious. 205. 213. 108.99. Okay. There are 4 records on UDP port 123. We can mark this as normal since there's no high volume data on it. Remember, UDP port 123 is commonly used for the NTP service. From the volume, it looks just as it should. Up to this point, we have revealed the potential C2 over DNS. We can now elaborate on these findings in our detection notes. Detection notes, the C2 tag. The communication pair that uses the DNS port is suspicious, and there's a sign that there's a C2 channel using a DNS connection. Elaboration points are listed below. The source IP address ending with 221 sent massive DNS requests in short intervals in less than a second. This pair must be analyzed at the packet level. According to the flows, the destination address has a higher chance of being the DNS server. This means the source address might be an affected host communicating with the C2. DNS-Cat2 is a tool that creates C2 tunnels over DNS packets, so it would be helpful to consider generic patterns created with DNS-Cat2 or a similar tool in further analysis and detection phases. Did we find Tracy McGreedy's C2 channel? Now let's continue the analysis to discover if there are any more anomalies. Remember the quick statistics RW stats where we discovered the massive volume on the DNS port. That section also highlights the volume on port 80. Let's quickly check who is involved on the port 80 traffic. Okay, and port 80 is HTTP. So that's what you use when you connect on your browser. Chrome, Edge, you're connecting over the HTTP hypertext transfer um, protocol. Okay, we listed the connection pairs that created the noise. Let's reveal the one that created the load by focusing on the destination port. So that's 235.223 because we see it's 100%. Okay. That use port 80 and revealed that the address ending with 236.223. Yes, 236.223 was the one that created the noise by sending requests. Remember, we don't have the payloads to see the request details, but the flow details can give some insight about the pattern. Let's view the frequency and flags of the request to see if there's any abnormal pattern here. Okay. 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 A series of SYN packets sent in less than a second needs attention and clarification. Um, let's view all the packets sent by that host first. So we see we had broken pipe. Okay, it's kind of weird. So let's see if this one. Okay. Look at the results. No act packet has been sent by that host. This pattern is starting to look suspicious now. Let's take a look at the destination answers. So, the reason why that is suspicious is because with TCP, which HTTP is on, TCP transfer control protocol, it's a three-way handshake. First, you send a SYN, and then the second is an ACK, and then I think the third is a SYN ACK. So it's a three-way handshake. And the reason why it is suspicious is because you don't have an acknowledged packet. When you do a SYN packet, SYN, to make sure that the connection is complete, you will receive an ACK or acknowledgement packet. That's how you know that the connection was made correctly. And once you have that third handshake, then it connects. So for the fact that we don't have that acknowledgement packet means it's an open handshake, and that is suspicious because that goes against the TCP protocol. That's why it is suspicious. Okay, just wanted to provide a little bit of background. Okay, so we're gonna do the filter. Okay, the destination address sends SYN ACK packets to complete the three-way handshake, is what I said. That's expected. However, we have already revealed that the source address only sent SYN packets, so that means it didn't complete the handshake. It's supposed to send acknowledgement packets after receiving the SYN ACK response. Exactly. To complete the three-way handshake process, which I described. That's a red flag and looks like a denial of service attack. We'll elaborate on this in our detection notes, but we still need to check if this host has interacted with other hosts on the network. So we're going to use this command. Okay. Luckily, there are no further interactions, so we can conclude the analysis and elaborate on the findings in our notes. Detection notes, not a water flood. The communication pair that uses port 80 is suspicious and there's a sign of a DOS attack. Elaboration points are listed below. The source IP address ending with 236.223 sent many TCP SYN packets in short intervals. The suspicious address didn't send an acknowledgement packet or an acknowledgement request, representing the TCP three-way handshake process. There's a high probability of a SYN flood attack. Who is trying to denial of service that particular host and why? Is that host compromised or do we have an insider? So, congratulations. You have helped the SSOC team identify the network traffic statistics and report the potential anomalies to McSkitty. In this task, we have covered the fundamentals of the network traffic data and analysis process. We have also explained the two standard network data formats, PCAPs and network flows, and demonstrated how to analyze network flow data using the Silk suite. Now practice what you have learned by answering the following questions. Okay, what is the S time value of the first DNS record going to port 53? Okay. Okay, so this is it. Okay, what is the IP address of the host that the C2 potentially controls? Okay. What IP address is suspected to be the flood attacker? What is the send packets number of records? So, number of records. No, I didn't want that. Go down. Okay. Number of records. I'm going to say 4158. Okay, so maybe 4160. Okay, need to come back to that one. Okay, what is the IP address of the host that the C2 potentially controls? Okay, so. Okay, hold on, let me scroll down. Uh, okay, let's see. Oh, didn't want that. Okay. Okay, so 175, 236, okay, so 1658. Because it's sending the send packs, but it's not sending the acknowledgement. So let me paste. Okay. Which IP is suspected to be the flood? And so let me explain. So with the TCP handshake, as I said in the beginning, so imagine this is the first computer, this is the client, this is the server. Client sends a send packet to the server. Server then sends a send acknowledgement saying, yes, I received your send. I'm sending an acknowledgement. Then the client sends an acknowledgement to the server saying, yes, I got your send ACK. And after that final ACK, third, the third handshake of the ACK or acknowledgement, then the connection is made. So we know that this is a send flood because this IP address 175.215.236.223 has just the send. It just has the first handshake. Whereas 175, 215, 235, 223 has the send and acknowledgement. So that means it's completing the handshake. This is just opening the handshake while this one IP is completing it. So yes. So the records was 1658. So now which IP address is suspected to be the flood attacker? I'm gonna say this one. Let's see. Paste. Format. Okay. What is the IP address of the host that the C2 potentially controls? 215. Let's. Oh no, if this is completely correct, I might have to go up. We'll see. Yep. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, we got to go up for this. Okay, so 175, 236, 223. Yeah, these are sins. 175, 215, 236. Oh, I think that's the DNS server. Destination. Okay. I'm gonna say this one. Because it's either one of those. So hold on. And I know I'm answering these questions out of order. We had the answers. Okay, so it is the 170. Hold on. It's the source here. Okay. 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 So yes, so the source here, I think that's coming from the DNS server. Okay, we've successfully analyzed network flows to gain quick statistics. If you want to delve deeper into network packets and network data, we can check out the network security and traffic analysis. I opened that by mistake. Okay, so we have completed that. So I hope you learned something in this room. I know I did. As I said, my networking at this point is extremely weak, and I see that I need to get back on it and really hone in on it. So, but yeah, this was a fun room to look at to get using statistics to see what is going on in the network. Again, earlier with PCAPs, that's where you do deep packet analysis, but those are usually big and time consuming. So we were able to use Silk to do quick summaries and inference of what was happening in the network to see what was going on. We figured out that a C2 is probably poisoned in our DNS server. We also figured that we probably had a denial of service and a SYN flood attack because the three-way handshake for the TCP protocol was not being completed. So again, I hope you learned something in this video. I did, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Have a good day. Bye.